Currently, I am testing the Siege of Eastrun storyline in the game, which is probably the mid-beginning half. I'm using the RPG Maker engine, specifically RPG Maker XP. There's a lot of stuff I want to tweak. I was actually thinking of various in-game mechanics I would willingly switch up. I haven't concretely decided how I'm going to change the engine, but I will be doing some tweaks in the future to how combat works and stuff in general like that. That is true. No game's complete without a loot box. So at least the AAA industry would have you believe. I may have to provide myself with extra healing items if I'm gonna get to Amarith and beat him. I would say we're about halfway done with the development of the Eastrun Siege. Only problem is getting things to work exactly as I want them to, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of working parts behind the scenes. Like you have... what's the way to explain it? So you have one part which is getting the defenses of the city ready, and then there's getting a certain number of points in your defense. Otherwise, you may beat the encounters in the actual game okay, but the city itself will be left in ruins by the end of things, because the fights that you're having in the city itself are a very tiny picture into the actual combat taking place throughout the whole place. Like one tiny skirmish in a huge sea of battles going on simultaneously. Oh, I forgot this part. Okay, so missing two guys there. And he needs to be auto run. This is the trickiest fight. Let's get rid of the Canis first. Let's do Wild Swinging and Mass Light. We want to get rid of the Canis enemies because they're actually quite beastly. And I don't mean that as a pun. They deal pretty significant damage. As you just saw with Eskar here, she just took a huge hit. Thankfully, I can have her reverse ailment, so that's not a big deal. Gonna have everyone stock up. Oh. Okay then. Yikes. Let's see. Wild swinging, because I didn't quite appreciate you doing that. Alright. Reverse ailment. Ailment break, and we're gonna greater heal. In case you're wondering about that timer, by the way, it's related to the in-game mechanic. Oh my gosh, I just read your freaking mind, that's amazing. So the timer is part of a central game mechanic that is not working because I don't want it to work right now. So essentially the premise of the game is that you are a reincarnated hero, but in order to reincarnate, you first have to get past the Lord of the Dead himself, and he didn't quite appreciate you actually getting past him. So he put a curse on you that's meant to prevent you from doing anything meaningful because you'll die in like 5 minutes anyway. And what that timer would normally do is, if it was allowed to reach 0, is it would put a status effect called dying on you, which would reduce your health to 20% and also put a poison effect on you. And if you don't know what that actually does, so you have 1,000 health points, you now have 50. And imagine how easy it is for a monster to hit you and kill you in one shot. So the way to avoid that is to fight monsters and take their souls, quote unquote. And that resets the timer and gives you more time in the overworld. Anyway, every single monster that you kill in natural battle screen is meant to reset that timer when it's actually turned on. Right now the system's off, so it's not fret, because that would be a real pain in the butt. There's also specific moments I don't have it actually on, like when you're in a main hub town, or if you're in a area that's non-combat related. Or if it's like a really long cutscene and I don't want people dying in the middle of a cutscene, because that's fair. I mean, it seems all present, but in reality I would actually probably turn it off in this specific series of events, because that would put way too much stress. I try to make it very reasonable to deal with. Like, it's a challenge if you're not paying attention. If you're paying attention to what you're doing, it's usually never a problem, at least in my experience. Man, I wasted that on that guy. These guys will be fairly easy to deal with. He says that and somehow gets immediately defeated. And let's just stock up. Yeah, we have some custom ones in the works, but there's just a lot of stuff we have to get done. So if we do get things done, I'll actually show you what some of our custom graphics look like in a little bit in regards to backgrounds, once we get into a game development standpoint again. There's just a lot of stuff that's not polished that would be very nice if we got it polished, but running out of time for that. We'll kind of start doing that again after the release date. Because there's a few things I definitely want to get polished and out of the way after the first update of Chapter 2 comes out. If I get enough done quickly enough, the rest of this month I should be able to dedicate to some polish items, like, you know, replacing some of these backgrounds, stuff like that. But yeah, they are stock at the moment. There's a lot of stock assets right now, but nowhere close to being finished with the game, so that's technically fine. So long as I actually get around to working on it at some point. Alright, we fixed that. Oh, please don't tell me it's still black. Okay, gonna skip through this real quick and see if that fixes it. Okay, there we go. It's just that area that needs to be fixed. And hooray for Dragon Knights! I'm not sure what he's weak against. It's been too long since I fought one. Doesn't care for amputate too much. Doesn't care for that too much either. Doesn't seem to care about much of what I'm doing. Oh, there we did something. Let's see. Let's try that. Let's try Greater of Water. Nope, he really doesn't care about water attacks. And I'm getting the feeling that she's not going to be helpful in that regard, so I have another plan. There we go. He's dead. I got an idea for how to deal with him now. Alright, let's go ahead and get some stuff going. I don't think I have enough empowerments for this yet. Well, I'm fighting one extra than I had to. To make these guys run things you can run away from. I forget how much damage he does normally, so don't want to risk getting hit by him. Anyway, not sure if Severe's still in the chat room at the moment, but if she is, then she's actually the one who's in charge of monster designs at the moment. So all the cool stuff, so the cool monster in front of you was actually designed by her. Fun factoid. Alright, that wasn't too rough. Okay, we have to fight this guy to get to the door, though. Alright, I'm going to do something different, just do it. Ooh. See, that's why I was afraid of him using magic. Because his physical attacks won't do much to me, but... oh boy. Alright. Gotta stock up again. We're almost to Amarith, who's basically the mid-boss of this whole encounter. I doubt Earth is going to do much. Yeah, he really doesn't care about Earth. I'm taking it. There we go. I'd like to not take that much damage from him if possible. Oh, gee, does nothing to him. Anyway, beyond this door is the boss. So... I'm going to just save. And hope I don't die. Welcome back, Sphere. Yeah, kittens typically will do that, I've heard. Well, meet Amarith. How is he doing that? Oh. Well, there we go. Well, there you have it. That's like literally the first half of this whole